Mághana, and welcome to the first edition of R.F.N, your weekly news nationwide.
From our revolting response to religious awakenings, we got a lot to go over this week. Starting from the top, the riot in the market this weekend. With the appearance of a market handled mainly by a Liberian citizen near Spawn, many curious people went to investigate, finding shocking prices that disgusted even members of the nobility.
This eventually led up to the planning of a pacifistic riot that turned sour to the protesters as they were attacked. They did not simply take those attacks, though. In fact, many hit back with sticks and bare fists. This event held importance for another major reason, as the enemy nations of Faltítvars and R.F.N were fighting together rather than against one another.
If you're interested in literature, you should know how Moss the Goblin has written a book documenting the event, called The Brief History of Spawn Market Volume 1.
Days later, Libram had announced how they would no longer support this market nor the individual who built it, Iceluke, who had left the nation to be able to continue with this project. Many nations still feel resentful of the situation, but preferred to avoid any more conflict and stay neutral, likely due to Libram recruiting the nation of Jarvik, renowned for their PvP skills, to support them in case of war. Libram has also announced that they'll host the next Olympics, which will be sponsored by the Seers.
On a religious note, there has been a new discovery on the cavian pantheon. Morgul has made himself present to the Lycoia. He has displayed himself as the god of nature and all that is alive, as well as Cavi's husband. There has not been much information about him, but we are eager to see how this unfolds.
Furthermore, there has also been development regarding the ancient goblin ruins devoted to Cavi. These ruins are located in the city of Canandire, discovered by me, and they depict a statue of Cavi herself. Sadly, the remains of such statue have greatly deteriorated. We have gone there to investigate the holy place, a lush cave filled with greenery, a perfect sanctuary for Cavi and her husband. Finally, we would like to take some time to remind people of the building contest that is currently being hosted as an event for Easter. The theme is Party Hall, and all submissions have to be made before the 10th of April. We recommend builders speed up as the prizes are quite substantial. We'd also like to mention this month's census.
Now we'll introduce our interview segment called Meet in the Vars, where we interview Faltítvars citizens to get to know them. This week's segment features Fabian, mayor of Palukar and Lycoia. Tune in for next week when we'll interview Moss the Goblin. Hello, sir, and thank you for being the first feature in our interview segment.
I'm thankful to be on this.
First of all, how does it feel being one of the only humans in a land full of mostly demi-humans and non-humans?
It's not too bad. It is seldom that we notice any hostilities between different races, and when we do, it is only jokingly.
With that question then, how does it feel to be one of the last Palui?
I'm certainly not the last Palui. It is just that many Paluis have not yet seen to return to their original homeland of Palukar. I wish to bring them back here, but it will certainly take some time for the Palui state to really be restored.
Interesting. Now, one of the most important questions, what is your favorite color?
Oh yes, I usually cannot decide between green and blue, so yeah.
Many people know about your position as priest on Lycoia, though. As with such, you must be very connected to the gods, or at least more than us. How was it when you met the new god?
Oh yes, that's an interesting story. It may have only been the vision of the new god or of the returned god of Morgul, but it was quite an interesting one, as this god seems to have taken in the Paluis as his favored people. So it is a god that is within the cavian pantheon that can be celebrated by us Paluis. Thereby, my rank as priest also involves now the whole pantheon, which it didn't before, as I wasn't truly aware of more gods than Kavi existing.
It's been a rumor that this god is apparently the husband of Kavi. What do you think of them as a couple?
Well, I have no rank to talk about the relationships of the gods. If anyone was to talk about that, that would of course be Kavi or Morgul within one of their visions.
I think you've mentioned this already, but as a Palui, what is your relationship with cavianity exactly?
Oh yes, I have mentioned that. it is that Morgul has taken a favor to the Palui folk, as they are very inbound with the nature, especially as we found a few ruins upon the Silver Iadithis. We found many small Palui settlements, like tents, which were left after the Polian invasion.
As the mayor of Palukar, what makes your town be so unique and interesting for other people? What would
Oh
make
yes. You may see the unique building style that Palukar follows since its founding, which is very much made in thought of the nature around us. And further, we have, like I mentioned, our culture, which is marked by our language.
Do you have any thing that you would like to add for people to know?
What do I have to add? So, I plan on making a small temple for Morgul soon in the farther north of this island, where Morgul, as part of the pantheon, can be worshipped independently.
How does it feel to have smooth hair, and what shampoo do you use?
I only use the finest honey produced in the Palui apiculture.
Well, that is all for this week. Thank you for all for the viewing, and we hope to see you in the next one.